What's going on, people? So I was talking about Sony, right, in the last video, I believe. So let's talk about Nintendo and Xbox, because it seems like right after Sony said, "Hey, we're not gonna be at E3," Nintendo and Xbox were like, "We will." And like I said before, man, this is coming from a lot of people. It seems like Sony is giving up, is what it seems like, because they're saying they have nothing to show. That sounds like giving up, bro. Where's Days Gone? The game's still not out yet. You have only released, what, 4 titles out of the past 3 E3s? And you've got more than that. Which is why I said that you should go to E3, have like a huge roundtable discussion, but use talking points from the games that we know that are not out yet. That's how you should do it. People are worried about what are they gonna do with the fucking PS5? What's going on with that? Don't know, don't really care. I'm telling you right now, the more people hear about the PS5, the more it's talked about. I think the more you start digging into it, the less you're gonna care. Because every time I see specs for the PS5, it looks good on paper, it sounds great, until you read the words Blu-ray player. Yeah, that's it, Blu-ray player. Not 4K, just basic 4K player. Or basic Blu-ray player. I don't know why I fucked that up, but what the fuck? I've said this before and I'll say it again. Teraflop titties don't matter here. Okay? People are mad at the PS4 Pro. It has not sold like you want it to, no matter what you say, Sony. Because you didn't put the 4K Blu-ray player in there that some people care about. You are still behind on memory. I have to buy a console, then I have to buy a fucking external just so I can have a decent amount of memory. You feel what I'm saying? It's kind of like I have to. Same reason people are mad at Nintendo for the internal 32 gigs. Well, what makes Nintendo so special about 32 gigs are the game files are not 60 plus fucking gigs of pop. Alright, that's what separates them. Sony, your file sizes have gotten to be over 100 gigs now. You want to give people 1 terabyte. Step your shit up, man. I'm telling you, again, it looks fine on paper. It has so many teraflop titties, more than the PS4 and the PS4 Pro. You know, it's pushing all this extra shit, doing all this extra stuff, doing the most from when you read it. And then you read that and you're like, Sony, I don't want to buy another fucking Blu-ray player. I really don't. I have like 4. Alright? I don't want another Blu-ray player. Put a 4K Blu-ray player in that bitch. Then both you and Xbox can now have game developers writing content on 4K Blu-ray discs, creating a whole new world of 4K. And Sony, you own the patent to that, and you're not taking advantage of it. And I really got a question to do as why the fuck not? Okay, you say it's gonna cost money. Well, no shit, Sherlock. It's gonna cost fucking money. But have you looked at the price of your televisions compared to your competitions? Of course you haven't, you jackass. Because if you had, you would have a more competitive price for what you offer. You offer less features in televisions, yet you ask the same price as the competition, who offers refresh rates, picture clarity, and the whole fucking world pretty much, right? HDR and 4K and all that. You sit right beside a Samsung and a Sony and you look at the features between the two and they're night and day. Sony's asking the same fucking price, but Samsung has more features. I've talked about that before, but it's still a factor. Okay, when we're talking about all this matters. You can sit there and be like, oh, nitpick. No, all this matters. When you look at a Sony television and it's not selling, it's because it's right next to its competitor who offers more for the same price. You're always going to go for more when you can get more. You see what I'm saying? Sony, if you release the PS5 with a basic Blu-ray player in there, you can probably write the generation off. Meaning you're just not going to sell. You're going to have to come with like the most damning of games, okay? Because you're leaving 2018 and it's not on a good stance. You're leaving 2018 as your main item is a PS1 classic that nobody fucking wants. And you're saying you're not going to be at E3 because you have nothing to fucking show. You have no PlayStation Expo, which is basically your version of a Nintendo Direct, but massive and blown way out of fucking proportions. You're not doing that. You see what I'm saying? You gotta do something, Sony. I don't care what it is. I don't give a damn if all you do is make a 20-minute video on YouTube. You gotta do something, okay? Everybody's concerned about why you're not going to E3, yet Nintendo and Microsoft have pretty much dogged the shit out of you for the end of this year, considering they dogged the fuck out of you over the crossplay thing and it was done perfectly. They're dogging you now, and you haven't said shit. You really should have went in and explained it more. I don't know who's running the PR section of Sony, but they probably don't need to be running the PR section anymore, considering how much shit has happened under their watch. Obviously, they don't know how to fucking handle the press or the stress or the situations. So Sony, get rid of that guy. Get rid of him, get someone in there who can handle it. Get someone in there who can get in front of this shit and make it be under control. Otherwise, you're just going to keep having problems. I don't want to keep talking about you on a daily basis like this, but these things fucking matter, okay? Like when I'm at GameStop and we're talking about the PlayStation 5. You know, now you're talking about having a mini screen inside, kind of like the old FMUs from the Dreamcast days with their little mini screen on the memory card, and the Wii U, basically. How it's a big screen tablet on the controller. If we're talking the same kind of thing, it's just going to be squished down into like a little mini, 2x2 screen where the touchpad is now, which I've said that touchpad is useless several times. The light bar is useless. No games except for the earliest releases on PlayStation take advantage of either two of those features. And it's just obvious that that was something that was, meant to kind of control battery life. I feel like if they would have never put that light bar in there, the battery life for the PS4 would be insane. I feel like it would have been up in like the 20 plus hours in one charge. But no, they have to have fucking light bar, which kills your damn battery in under 5 hours. You feel what I'm saying? Sony, take that shit away. It's not necessary. Figure out a way to make your battery life longer, because right now Xbox is beating your ass when it comes to that. Nintendo has been had your ass whipped when it came to that with the Wii U at 80 plus hours. Fuck out of here. And they're beating your ass again this generation because the Pro controller is double if not triple the life fucking span of a PS4 controller. Fix it. Don't go into next generation going, oh yeah, our battery in the PS5 controller is going to last a whole 2.5 hours. Don't do that. Don't do that. Make it worth our while. Make a 4K machine with a 4K Blu-ray player. If you don't, I'm telling you, you're going to have backlash. Alright, I'm telling you that right now. As a guy who has sat here and watched all your screw-ups and all your moves made that basically really depend upon Lady Luck coming in and making sure it doesn't get too fucked so you can remain relevant. I've seen all that, and I don't want to see this generation PS5 come in and you basically Xbox One all over yourself. Alright, I don't want to see that, because there's too much at stake. You're going into a generation where the stakes are higher. You're not guaranteed to be handed the generation because Nintendo's selling decent and Xbox is actually performing well compared to back when it first came out in 2013 with this generation. It's a different ball game. People are still worried and focused about what Xbox is doing, even though they don't like them, because remember, the Xbox 360 was the hottest selling ticket of last generation if you take away the Wii U and the Wii. When you take both of those away, the 360 was the hottest thing for majority of that entire generation. Yes, you came back and outsold them, but that took a lot of struggle. That took a long time with Sony on the struggle bus. So don't fuck this up. Alright? I don't think Sony can survive the PS5 generation if it starts off like the Xbox One. Remember, it took them 5 years at being the number one selling console for 5 years to just pass PS3 sales. And they are still not up to the PS1 sales. So Sony is still, when you look at a graph, it'll be like, oh, PS1 sales, huh? PS2 sales, huh? PS3 sales, PS4 sales, huh? Remember, they haven't really seen a huge increase. It's still very low, alright? Sony needs to figure out, they need to focus, and they gotta go, hey, we have to make this PS5 sell over 100 million units. 100 million. Have to. Can't, if it's anything lower than that, it's a failure. Okay? Because we've had 2 generations where we sold over 100 million, and one of those generations made the hottest ever sold console. We have got to get this right. If it doesn't move 100 million, then honestly, we're done. That's what they need to do. Because the PS1 sold 105, the PS2 sold 155. That's a 50 million unit increase. Okay? So they need to be figuring to build up, and they got to get it under control. If they don't, like I said, I don't see a PS6 happening if they don't. If they come out stumbling as bad as Xbox One did in 2013, they're probably dead. Alright? I hate saying it that way, but just look at all the moves they made up till here. All of them. I don't care they've had the hottest selling console for the majority of this generation. Yes, they have. They've lost very few months each year. They lost maybe 1 month here, 1 month there. And it wasn't until the Xbox One Slim came out that they lost consecutive months. Consecutive, meaning they might have lost like August, then they lost what? Let's see. September, October, November. Like, I mean, Xbox took like 4 or 5 months back to back. That was the first time Sony this generation saw any real month losses. And that didn't happen until the 3rd year of this generation. Keep that in mind. Then the Switch came out, and Sony hadn't really been able to see a winning month. Like, they won like Black Friday, I do believe, last year, but they didn't win the overall month. You feel what I'm saying? They were like, oh, we won Black Friday. We still lost November. You see what I'm saying? They're starting to understand, hopefully, they're starting to understand, we're not guaranteed the month. We got to do something where we can get those sales up and we win the month again. And it seems like Sony is giving up that fight. They haven't really gone out and tried anything to improve that. Yes, we got the games we were promised, but again, that's supposed to happen because you promised those games. You know what I'm saying? So, figure it out, Sony. Figure it out. I'm not, like, I know it looks like I'm a Sony hater on this channel, but I'm not. I want to see them do good. I want to see them actually improve upon the things that are wrong. And I'm telling you right now, if you say, oh, the PS5 can survive with a regular Blu-ray player in it, even though Xbox has already normalized the 4K Blu-ray player in it, you're full of shit and you're trying to fool yourself. Quit trying to defend a move like that. Sony owns the patent to 4K. There's no reason. There is no reason. I don't care how much it would cost. There is no reason Sony does not put their own patent in the damn console. So, all that being said, hopefully there won't be another article out where either Nintendo or Xbox clown Sony for not going to E3. Sony, please come out and say something before December. Come out and say anything. I don't care. I don't care if you come out and say, we don't give a damn of what your opinion is on the classic console. We just did it so you give us some money. I don't care what it is. Come out and say something, because you're being way too fucking quiet. And it's not necessarily a good thing.